I don't know how to put this, but Manchester United need a little help in midfield. We're kind of in need for some midfielders. So, in case you've been living under a log this week, Casemiro has announced, and the club has announced, that he will be leaving Manchester United at the end of his contract. His contract is set to expire in June. Casemiro will walk away for free. Another player on big wages signed for big money who will walk away for free. That's a story for another day, though. But quite frankly, United have needed center midfielders for a few years now. And then now with the news that Casemiro is officially leaving, that need is going to be higher than ever. We need some bodies in midfield. And as usual, we've been linked to every midfielder under the sun, many of whom, we've scouted or discussed at length on this channel throughout the months, years, whatever you want to call it. Aside from those options, though, I have a few players today that I think would be excellent signings to come and partner Kobbie Mainoo in midfield. I think for the foreseeable future, we got to go to the 4-2-3-1. You'd imagine that in the future, we're going to be sticking with a 4-2-3-1 too. Our midfield options are a little different. So the ones I've scouted today for you that I want to share, they bring physicality, they bring mentality, they complement Mainoo perfectly, in my opinion. So we're going to take a look at a few of those today, you guys. Please make sure you hit that like button for me. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 3K. I'd love to get there before the end of the transfer window. Big ask, I know, but I think we can do it. I believe in you. And then, yes, of course, let me know your thoughts as we go along, because you guys know I always want to hear what you have to say as well. Let's first and foremost, you guys know I have to check the chat and see who's involved today. Big up, Sanjay. How you doing? Our roaming community member. He's always someplace doing something, man. Danny B in the house. I know if there's a scouting report video out, Danny B is going to be in the house. So big up, Danny. Can't wait to hear some of your thoughts, man. But big up, man. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. City remembered how to win a game. Liverpool currently losing 2-1 to Bournemouth. I mean, Bournemouth couldn't do us a favor, could they? I mean, I did not see that coming, but we'll see how it goes. But all right, I'm going to start things off. The video is going to be kind of shifted to two different kind of portions here. I'm going to briefly kind of just mention the players that we've already talked about, we've already scouted in the past, and the different categories those fall in. And then I'm going to jump into the ones I want to scout today. So these are the players that we've been linked with. I'm not going to go into detail. We've already spoken. They are on my list. I'm sure they're on a lot of people's list as well. But we're going to start off with a couple of the Premier League proven options that we all know and love. We scouted these guys. We've discussed these guys ad nauseum. There's no need for me to go into detail, but I will mention them because I want to make sure you guys know they are still on my list. I'm talking, of course, about Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, João Gomez, and Carlos Baleba. Now, Carlos Baleba, still hit or miss for me. We'll see how it goes. But four of these guys, Premier League proven, doing very, very well, obviously. A couple of them could go down. Elliot Anderson could get relegated with Forest. João Gomez could be relegated with Wolves as well, although I have seen him linked to Atletico Madrid and Napoli. And then, of course, you've got Baleba and Wharton, all of whom I think are excellent pickups. So those are your Premier League proven options. If you're looking for more of leadership experience, kind of those generals in midfield, there are a few that we've been linked with, and these guys I've also scouted and we've discussed at length as well. I'm just going to mention them real quick. I'm, of course, talking about Ruben Neves, Felix Nemecha, Ederson at Atalanta, and Morten Holman at Sporting. These guys are the older, the experienced, the more physical. They're going to command the midfield. They're going to get about, and they're going to just get it done. Those are guys we've spoken about a couple times. So those will be your experience. Those will be your leadership. Of course, I also wanted to briefly mention, because I do think we could stand to upgrade on Ugarte as well. So if we bring in one of these guys, I do think we could stand to maybe look at young options to come in and rotate. I do think we're going to need four midfielders, someone to kind of complement Mainoo on the defensive aspect, and a backup for that person, but also a backup for Mainoo. But in terms of a backup physical midfielder who's younger, I want to look at these young rotation options. So these guys we've scouted before as well. We've mentioned them. I'm going to mention them again real quick. That is Ayub Buwadi, Jordi Mokio at Ajax, and of course Sekou Kone. These guys I do think could come in and be that backup option, be the rotation option, get some minutes here and there when hopefully, we're going deep in competitions, and hopefully if we are qualified for Europe as well. I do think we need to have options. We need a minimum 4 midfielders for 2 roles, and then obviously the 10 role as well. Bexy's in the house. Big up, Bexy. Good to see you again. So I think United will put Arsenal under a lot of pressure. Yeah, fancy. Yeah. Go check out the preview we did yesterday if you guys want to look at tactics and predictions and whatnot. We did that preview as well. Bexy's going Anderson. Yeah, Anderson is definitely a top target for a lot of people. Sanja says they will be difficult. Everybody's going to be difficult. No one's ever just going to be hanging out with a for sale sign over their head. It's just up to us to go and get it done. And so that's what I hope for. But so those are the three main categories right off the bat that I want to make sure we kind of get out there so we're all aware. Like, just because I don't go into detail on those guys doesn't mean they're not on my list. They are on the list, but we've already talked about them a lot. Then you've got the other randos that I've mentioned, guys like Alexander Pavlovic at Bayern, Hayden Hackney, of course, Casado at Bayern or Barcelona. Although I do think Hackney and Pavlovic are a bit too similar to Mainoo, in my opinion. That Hackney definitely is more of the attacking, creative, playmaking, box to box. Pavlovic too is not as defensive minded as I would like to partner Mainoo. I think they don't work in the same 11 as Mainoo personally. Unless we played a 4-3-3 and like Bruno was sold, then yes, that could work, but we'd still need a defensive midfielder. And then you've got guys like Siddiqui, Ayari, Alex Scott, or Yarmouk, who I like. They're young. I want to see more of them in the Premier League before I make a decision either way, but those guys are also on my back of my mind as well. So then, again, putting aside all those guys that I've mentioned, or the ones we're heavily linked with, and the ones we already know about, I've got 5 names for you guys today that I want to go through that I think would be excellent pickups. They tick a lot of boxes. There's physicality, mentality, fight. There's distribution. There's defensive mindedness. I like a lot of what they bring. There, a couple of these guys are under the radar options. One of them is going to be pretty expensive, but I do think he would be almost tailor-made for the Premier League personally. So without further ado, let me jump in first and foremost with a guy that I've been watching for a while. You guys have probably heard me mention him a couple of times. I'm talking about Alan Varela. If you've been a part of the UVE community for a while, you've heard me mention Alan Varela many times. I've been a fan of this guy since his Boca days. I've wanted him at United ever since. He is like your Casemiro, basically. I was gutted when he went to Porto, but he has gained some valuable experience at Porto, a lot of European football and Champions League, Europa League as well. Now it could be the ideal time for Varela to test himself at a higher level. Again, he's 24 years old, good build, 6'1", excellent passing range, good awareness, good mentality, physicality. He's press resistant as well. He's really good on the ball. Sort of like in the last couple of years at Porto, specifically this past year, he's kind of done like what Ndidi went through the last time Leicester. So the season before Leicester got promoted again, Ndidi became more of a box-to-box attack-minded midfield, and that's kind of what Varela has been turned into. But he is a defensive mid. Now, I like that the having more of a creation task has kind of elevated his chance creation and his ball carrying, but I do think his best position is still as a defensive midfielder, where he can control the aerial in front of the defense, utilize that reading of the game, his positional skills, the physicality to sense the danger, read the situation, and sweep up. That's where I think he shines. He looks more comfortable in that role, personally. He's got mentality, he's got physicality, he's got passing range. Like I said, now he's got Champions League experience too with Porto, and he was immense a couple years back in the Champions League for them. He was an absolute force of nature in a couple of those matches. I do really like him. You can see he just patrols that middle area of the pitch. That's where he lives. That's what I like to see from him. It is a bit of an obstacle, though, that he signed a new contract last spring that does run to 2030. So he's going to be more expensive than he might have been otherwise. So it is what it is. You live and learn. But if you're looking for a near like-to-like Casemiro replacement who's got maybe a little bit more mobility than Casemiro, Varela is your guy. He is absolutely your guy. Bexy says, if United are ambitious, buy the best in class. United need to be challenging next season. No more excuses. No, I fully agree, Bexy. I fully agree. That's what we're here to talk about today, man. We're looking at some Casemiro replacement options. Danny says, wanted Varela this summer. We bought Højlund. Yeah, I love Varela, man. He's such a good midfielder. He's come on leaps and bounds. It's still hard to believe he's only just 24 years old, but hey, he's got plenty of years to grow, man. So Alan Varela, let me know your thoughts on that. Move on to another guy that seems to be popping up in the rumor mill lately, but we've actually scouted him a while back, talking about Mamadou Sangare. If you remember, we did a scouting report on Sangare back in the summer. I think it was like June, July. This was back when he was still at Rapid Vienna. Fast forward, and he's been one of the best midfielders in the French league since moving to Lens this in the summer. He's just 23 years old, but the guy is just a physical monster with an excellent passer. He's like a defensive-minded Pogba the way he passes the ball. He reminds me a lot of Marcelo Brozovic, if you guys ever watch Brozovic at Inter. He's got a passing range. He reads the situations well. He's got fight. He's good on the ball. He's press resistant, and he's got a physicality that allows him to win the ball and hold on to the ball really, really well. Many football fans likely took notice of him during AFCON, where he was outstanding for Mali with a couple of man-of-the-match performances for them. He gets around the pitch. He gets stuck in. He utilizes his size and his press resistance to win and keep the ball, which I really, really like. He's got the most tackles in Ligue 1 at the moment. And he can pick a pass. I mean, boy, can he pick a pass. Here's some of his numbers compared to midfielders of his similar position in the other leagues. Again, you can look at everything is pretty much above average, aside from goals. But goals are average, and then even then he's playing as a 6. So what do you expect? But aerial duels, chance creation, defensive numbers, touches on the ball, like Sangare does it all. He wins a lot of aerial duels. He carries the ball, which again, when you're a defensive-minded midfielder and you can carry the ball, you're press resistant, you can progress it. That is such a bonus perk. He's got loads of interceptions as well. He's just outside the top 10 for interception. He does win the ball a lot in the opposition half in that final third as well. He's really good high pressing. He's almost got everything, Sangare. And I'd argue he's a major factor in why Lens are second in Ligue 1 right now. Been linked to a number of clubs, of course, including United, including Spurs, et cetera, et cetera. We always seem to be linked to players. It's just the way it is. Lens played just 8 million euros for him, though, and his value has already doubled in 6 months if you look on Transfer Market. Sangare is one of those players, though, that if you don't take a chance on him now, he will cost more than twice as much in a year or so. He's still a cheaper option than a lot of the other players that we've looked at and a lot of the other players on today's list as well. And you know, Christopher Vivell loves a Malian midfielder as well. Danny remembers, yeah, you guys remember, we scouted Sangare a while ago. He is an absolute beast, man. Yeah, he is the cheapest option likely on this list in terms of just what you get for the money. Even if you paid twice as much as 15 million is nothing and that's euros, and is nothing for a player of his quality. He could be one of those masterstroke signings that everyone looks at and you say, oh, wow, they have unearthed a gem in him. So, but opposite end of the spectrum in terms of price is my next my next player on my list. You guys know I always have a pricey option in there. I just can't help myself. Talking about Pablo Barrios at Atletico Madrid. If we're living in dreamland and we want to spend a lot of money, I mean, we're already going to be doing that if we're looking at Anderson and Wharton, right? Barrios, though, is a top option. He is an absolute baller at Atletico Madrid. Still just 22, but he is one of the best midfielders I've seen just in terms of old school, box-to-box fight. He can pass, he can dribble, he can win balls, he can win aerials, he can shoot. He can do literally everything. Atletico play a 4-4-2, so he's tasked with doing everything. So he's got experience on and off the ball, getting up and down the pitch, which I think is only going to put him ahead of the curve. Spread those responsibilities out, though, between like him, Kobbie, Bruno, and then you're going to get the best from Barrios. He's going to have a little bit more room to do what he wants. He gets around the pitch. He disrupts the opposition. He wins the ball, carries it up the pitch. His dribbling numbers are absolutely elite as well. You could see it's more on the right side, but again, because Atletico play a 4-4-2 and he plays on their right midfield. He wins duels. He presses high up the pitch. He makes interceptions. His dribbling stats are outstanding. His passing range is absolutely stellar as well. I mean, he really is an all-around midfielder. Now, an argument could be made that if we're going to spend that much on a midfielder, then maybe it's better to go get someone in the Premier League who's Premier League proven. And I agree. If you're going to look for that kind of profile and you're going to be spending that much money, maybe just go and get Elliot Anderson. It might be the thing that ticks that box when all the other things being equal. But watch Barrios and tell me that he isn't tailor-made for the Premier League. Like the way he plays, his intensity, his physicality, his stamina, his work rate, all of it. I'd still probably choose Anderson over him personally, especially if Forest get relegated. I think they could be very well relegated if we're being honest. But if we do miss out on Anderson, maybe City pick him up or somebody, then Barrios, I think, can be an excellent pickup. I think that he is an underrated, and he's so young still too. Like there's nothing but potential with this kid. Danny says Barrios is class. I think Barrios is absolute class. It's going to be hard to get him out of Atletico Madrid, but I really like him a lot. So, but moving on, you guys, got two more left here. Someone that we've talked about in the past, haven't really talked about extensively because we haven't been linked to him in a while. We're looking at Morten Frendrup. Now, if you're looking for a physical, just powerhouse, basically, who just his job is sit in front of defense, sweep up, win that ball, find a teammate, look no further than Morten Frendrup. At Genoa, just 24 years old. But again, his physical, he puts in a shift off the ball. He wins a lot of duels. He knows how to put himself in the best position to disrupt, break up play, win that ball, cause problems for the opposition. And he wins the ball a lot high up the pitch. He wins a lot of duels. He goes and fights for the ball. His distribution's not bad either. Now, he doesn't have elite passing range. I think that definitely could improve, but his passing range is definitely better than Ugarte for sure. I trust him over Ugarte when it comes to moving the ball. But he is a ball winner, not a ball progressor, so keep that in mind. He's a consistent player, one who really never misses a whole lot of matches. He works hard. He runs a lot. He's able to help the defense out a lot. He presses. He's 7th in Serie A right now for tackles per 90, if that tells you anything. Like, he just puts in a shift, and that's all I need him to do. And he makes a lot of clearances too, which I do think goes under the radar as a valuable stat, because we tend to struggle defending set pieces, defending the box, and we need people in there who know how to clear the danger, and because we struggle with that. Linked to a lot of big clubs in the summer, linked to United, linked to Liverpool, linked to Brentford. He does have that Brentford kind of vibe to him, doesn't he? A lot of Serie A fans out there do think he also deserves a step up too. And if you look again, numbers in terms of tackles, his duel percentage, his aerial duel percentage, his interceptions, possession one in the final third, pretty much everything there is average or well above average. And that's what you need from this guy. He just gets the job done. Now, reportedly, Genoa have promised, they've made a vow to sell him for 25 million euros if an offer comes in, because it sounds like he's wanting to leave. If he's good enough, though, go and snap him up before someone like Brentford or Brighton or West Ham or whoever does, because he will cost twice as much in a year or so. That's just the nature of it. He'll be 25 soon, so again, he's right at that good age. I think could be an ideal option. He could be one of those under the radar, shrewd pieces of business that I'd like to see us do. Danny, yeah, I do know you like Frendrup, man. Brought him up on here. Yeah, we were linked to him, if you guys remember, not that long ago. Yeah, I trust him to move that ball much better than he's like a McTominay with a better football IQ, if that makes sense. Maybe a little bit more of a defensive mindset, just the kind of the way he is. Yeah, I like that he gets on the end of everything too. Kai's in the house. Big up, Kai. Good to see you again, my friend. One more to go, you guys. If you've stuck around this far, please make sure you hit that like button for me. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure to check the store as well. The last day, I think, for 20% off in the UVE store. So make sure you're checking that out, you guys. One more for you guys. I added this guy last second. I went back and forth with this guy for a while this morning, trying to figure out how realistic this is. I did a lot more research because I do love this guy. I do watch him play a lot, and I still go back and forth on how realistic, but who cares? I am going to throw him out there. This is Mainoo Kone. I wanted this guy when he was still at Borussia Mönchengladbach. He is such a good midfielder, you guys. Still just 24, 6'1". He's a physical beast, but he is physical. He is he's what Baleba wants to be basically. He's an all-action midfielder. He gets about the pitch. He fights, wins the ball, and progresses it up the pitch. He is high energy, physicality. He's going to break up play, drive that ball forward. I like when a center midfielder who's physical and defensive-minded can also move the ball up the pitch. You guys know that. When Kone wins possession, he is also the one to initiate the counterattack too. He's not just a side-to-side ball player. He is a ball progressor as well. When again, it's just another string to his bow that I think not only puts him ahead of the curve, but what it does is it takes a lot of the pressure off everyone else. If you're defensive minded, but you can't move the ball, everyone else has got to come to you to try to help you. Now everyone else can do what they do best because they know that you can do that as well. But look at the ground he covers in midfield for Roma. Like, he's an absolute beast mode. Again, another guy, like unlike Ugarte, can actually pass the ball. He combines that elite ball carrying with defensive output, tackling, interceptions. He's press resistant too. He can, like Kobbie, he can kind of bypass that high press from the opposition and drive the ball forward as well. I really like that. And he's also got explosiveness and acceleration. When he does beat that press, he has that initial explosiveness to create a lot of space for himself and just put a lot of distance between himself and the opposition. Really, really like that from a midfielder. He has been linked to United by some Italian journalists as well. I've seen price tag of between like 50 and 60 million, depending on what outlets you're looking at right now. That's the price I'm seeing. It is a bit pricey, but I do think that he is one of the better midfielders around right now in terms of the profile, the age, and the quality that we're looking for. He ticks almost every box, Manu Kone. But I want to know what you guys think. So again, the idea here is Casemiro replacements, and that doesn't mean we need an exact replica. Like, I'll probably do a Bruno replacement video sometime in the future if it looks like he's leaving. It doesn't mean we need a Bruno replica. We need someone to play in that position who is as good but doesn't have to do exactly the same things. We don't need someone to do the exact same things as Casemiro. We need someone to complement Kobbie Mainoo. It would be nice if they've got a bit of a passing range, if they've got that mobility. It would be nice if they had some leadership experience as well, the physicality, all those boxes. You're not going to get everyone who ticks every box. I do think these guys tick a lot of boxes, though. Some of them more pricey, like Pablo Barrios. Some of them shrewd pickups, like Sangare or even Frendrup. But all of whom I think do elevate our squad. I think they come in, they start ahead of Ugarte if we sign them, and they give the managers something to think about. But yes, please do hit that like button, Kai. But I want to know your thoughts, you guys. Are there any that you think I missed? Are there, of all the ones we've talked about today, not even just these last five, maybe even the ones we talked about earlier, like the Premier League proven ones or the older guys like Ederson, Ruben Neves, who would be your top pick? Because arguably we could need two defensive-minded physical midfielders and maybe another one to back up Kobbie Mainoo. But I want to know who you guys would pick. Sanjay's going Sangare. I really do like Sangare. You guys know I like Sangare a lot. He was one that when we scouted him back in July, I was like, this. It's not often that I scout a player and I think to myself, he's going to be huge. Sangare is one of the ones that I'm like, he's definitely going to blow up. People are going to be talking about him. And it seems like that's happening because a lot of people are talking about him right now. But I want to know your thoughts, you guys. Those are just a couple of my picks to replace Casemiro. Of course, I can't talk about everybody, but when I look at the list of players that we scouted, look at the list of midfielders who's out there, these are the ones that I think instantly become starters in Manchester United squad. So let me know your thoughts, you guys. Remember, please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Check the memberships as well. Starting 11 Legends members, you do get to suggest the players for scouting reports in the future. I just did a scouting report earlier this week as well, but you can make suggestions for that too. And then also, Starting 11 Legends members do get access to the WhatsApp group. There was a post in the community section of the channel that's got a link to that. Please don't share it. It's just for Starting 11 and Legends members. But just because the stream ends doesn't mean the conversation has to. So go check that out as well. And again, like I said, 20% off in the UVE store for the next couple days here. Danny's got his picks. Anderson, number one. Buade, Sangare, Kamara. Yeah, we've talked about Kamara before as well. Agume is another one you could easily throw on the list too. There's tons and tons of midfielders out there, which is why I'm not always in a big hurry to go and spend a lot of money on someone like Baleba, for instance, because I know there are so many midfielders out there. You can go get two quality. You can get Sangare and someone like Jordi Mokio for the same price as Baleba, and you've got your midfield sorted. You've got a backup and you've got your starter, because Mokio is still very, very young. He's like 18. Stuff like that. That's, to me, what makes someone a good director for. You don't always have to go and spend a ton of money. You can be very shrewd about it. But if they are your big target, go ahead and get them. Sanjay's giving us a score update. So what do we got here? Liverpool are down 3-2. Please, please, please. Oh, we could go fourth tomorrow, guys. Just saying, if this result holds, because right now Liverpool are on 36 points. We're on 35. They might lose, and we could shoot above them by 2 points tomorrow if we somehow get a result against Arsenal. Please, 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 whatever you got, toes, eyes, fingers, cross them all. Let's hopefully get that done. And it says Breno Biden, load him back. There's Bruno replacement. Yeah, there's all sorts of numbers. Like, honestly, if you're looking for his like to like I'd go for like Nico Paz. But again, you don't need a straight up like for like. Let's say you move someone like, you can move Cunha to the 10, and that he can play like a Gibbs White as a kind of role, kind of be that second striker. You can go get Krupi and kind of play him as a 10 option as well, because that's where he's played today. There are tons of options. Oh, and Liverpool just lost. Have that, you scouse pricks. Oh, I gotta text some people. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think about these options. I want to know your thoughts. If there's anyone I missed, let me know in the comments, you guys. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully we'll be back this weekend talking about 3 points against Arsenal. It's a big ask. Go prepare for that by watching the match preview we did yesterday, you guys. Take it easy, and I will talk to you guys later.